Should we talk about Russian politicians at 11 minutes after 7 with Christopher Brannigan, who's senior fellow at the Policy Exchange, was senior advisor to Boris Johnson as PM and defence lead in the number 10 policy unit. Can you give us your interpretation of what President Putin might be trying to achieve by moving up the level of nuclear alert? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nick. Certainly with Putin's shift toward putting his nuclear forces, his deterrent forces, as he calls them, on an increased state. I mean, it's escalatory and it's certainly unnecessary, but it is predictable. I mean, this is President Putin that we're talking about. He's playing into the way that Russian military doctrine has always been utilised. It's always been within their conceptual approach. Although I have to say that looking at the faces of his military chiefs sitting beside him yesterday when he made the announcement, it didn't look universally popular in downtown Moscow. It increases the dangers because it introduces more chances of things going wrong, and both sides would realise that. But it's designed to be a deterrent, not a coercive strategy.
This, I assume, is a man who cannot lose face, who cannot back down. We're going to need a medium, aren't we, between the Ukrainians and the Russians to try and find him some route out of this?
We are. I mean, it's interesting that there is a very coherent view which says that part of stepping up the scale of what happens allows him to escalate. Look how brave I've been, look how I respond towards the West, look at how strong Russia is, in order to de-escalate. Look how clever a politician I am, look how diplomatic I'm going to be.
Do you buy that?
How I bring this back to find its a way out.
Do you buy that, Christopher?
His assumptions, Nick, so far seem to have been, completely delusional. I mean, one would hope that he is surrounded, as all political leaders are, by military advisors who will tell him, this is what this course of action means, this is what this course of action means. And most of the things that he has thought were going to happen up to now, a low-cost victory in Ukraine, that Ukraine will be ineffective in its response toward him, none of those things have planned out. So listening to Ian's report a moment ago, you can see where that resistance is occurring in Ukraine. That means that none of this is going to plan. There's some really bizarre things going on that seem to have undone the way that they've thought about this.
Christopher, we'll talk again. Thanks for your input. Christopher Brannigan, senior fellow at Policy Exchange, served as senior advisor to Boris Johnson as PM and was defence lead in the number 10 policy unit.